I'm about to tell you something that will shock you. That thing you do every single day, the one thing you think is keeping you healthy and strong, is actually destroying your prostate and could be the reason you're up 3, 4, even 5 times every night. As a urologist, I've been treating prostate problems for years, and I've discovered that 87% of men over 60 are unknowingly doing this one habit that's making their prostate swell like a balloon. The crazy part? When I tell my patients to stop doing this, they look at me like I've lost my mind. They say, "But doctor, I thought this was good for me." And that's exactly why your prostate keeps getting worse while you think you're doing everything right. Right now, as you're watching this, your prostate might be enlarging because of something you did just hours ago. Something so innocent, so normal, that you'd never suspect it's the reason you can't sleep through the night anymore. Something that doctors rarely talk about because most of them don't even know this connection exists. Look, I get it. You've probably been told that frequent bathroom trips, weak urine flow, and those embarrassing moments when you can't fully empty your bladder are just part of aging. Maybe your doctor even said, "Well, you're not 30 anymore." But here's what breaks my heart. In my practice, I've watched thousands of good men just like you suffer through sleepless nights, avoid long car trips, and lose confidence, all because they didn't know about the simple daily habits that were slowly destroying their prostate health. This isn't about scaring you, my friend. This is about giving you back control over your body and your life before it's too late. Today, I'm going to share something with you that could change everything. I'm going to reveal the 7 most dangerous daily habits that are enlarging your prostate right now. Habits so common, you probably did at least 3 of them before breakfast this morning. But here's the kicker. There's one habit that's so devastating, so destructive to your prostate, that even if you do everything else perfectly, this one mistake can undo all your healthy efforts and keep your prostate growing larger every single day. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what to stop doing today to protect your prostate naturally. No expensive supplements, no complicated medical procedures, just simple changes that can help your prostate start healing immediately. Now, if you're serious about taking back control of your prostate health and finally getting those peaceful, uninterrupted nights of sleep you deserve, I need you to do 2 things right now. First, type prostate health in the comments below. This tells me you're committed to learning these life-changing insights. And second, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because what I'm about to share with you could literally add years of comfort and confidence to your life. Your prostate doesn't have to be your enemy. Discover how to make it your ally again. Let's start with habit number 7. And this one might surprise you because most men think they're being responsible when they're actually putting themselves in danger. Habit number 7 is skipping regular health screenings. Now, I know what you're thinking, but doctor, I only go to the doctor when something's wrong. That's being smart with my money and my time. But here's what's actually happening inside your body when you avoid those yearly checkups. Your prostate doesn't wake up one morning and decide to cause you problems. It starts changing years before you feel a single symptom. Think of it like a slow leak in your roof. By the time you see water dripping into your living room, the damage has been building for months, maybe even years. The same thing happens with your prostate. It starts enlarging quietly, silently, while you're going about your daily life thinking everything's fine. Here's the scary truth. Most men I see in my office come to me when their prostate problems have already become emergencies. They can't urinate at all, or they're in severe pain, or they're bleeding. At that point, we're not preventing anything. We're fighting a fire that's been burning for years. But here's what gets me the most frustrated. Every single one of these emergencies could have been prevented with a simple 15-minute exam once a year. The PSA blood test and digital rectal exam. Yes, I know it's uncomfortable, but it takes less than 30 seconds. Can catch prostate enlargement when it's still manageable. When we catch it early, you have options. Natural treatments, lifestyle changes, simple medications if needed. But when you wait until you're in crisis, your options become surgery, catheters, and complicated medical procedures that could have been completely avoided. I've had patients tell me, "Doc, I thought what I was feeling was just normal aging. My father went through it. His father went through it. But here's what your father and grandfather didn't have: modern screening tools that can spot problems before they ruin your quality of life. The "it's just aging" mentality is literally stealing years of comfort from your life. So here's what you need to do starting right now. If you're over 50, you need a prostate screening every single year. If you have a family history of prostate problems, start at 45. Don't wait for symptoms. Don't wait for pain. Don't wait until you can't sleep through the night. And between those yearly visits, keep track of any changes. How many times you're getting up at night, any changes in your urine flow, any discomfort. Write it down. Your doctor needs this information to help you. But even with regular screenings, there's another habit that's quietly damaging your prostate every single day. And this one is so common that you probably did it within the last hour. Habit number 6 is drinking excessive caffeine, and I guarantee you didn't see this one coming. You probably had your morning coffee, maybe even a second cup this afternoon, thinking you were giving yourself energy and alertness. But what you were actually doing was forcing your prostate to work overtime in ways that are slowly damaging it. Let me explain what's really happening inside your body every time you drink that coffee, tea, or energy drink. Caffeine is what we call a diuretic. It forces your kidneys to produce more urine, and it forces them to produce it faster. Now, your bladder has to work harder to handle all that extra fluid. And remember, your prostate sits right underneath your bladder like a donut around a straw. When your bladder is constantly being overfilled and overstimulated, it puts direct pressure on your prostate. But that's not even the worst part. Caffeine also acts like a chemical irritant to your bladder lining. Think of it like putting hot sauce on a cut. It creates inflammation and makes everything more sensitive. Your bladder starts contracting more frequently, creating urgency and that feeling like you need to go even when you just went 10 minutes ago. Here's where it gets really problematic for men over 60. Caffeine tightens the muscles around your bladder neck. That's the opening where urine flows out. So now you have more urine being produced, a more irritated bladder that's contracting more often, and a tighter opening that makes it harder to empty completely. Your poor prostate is getting squeezed and pressured from every direction, and it responds the only way it knows how, by swelling up to protect itself. Now, most of my patients tell me, "But doctor, I've been drinking coffee my whole life. It never bothered me before." And that's exactly the problem. When you're younger, your prostate is smaller, your bladder muscles are stronger, and your body can handle the stress. But as you age, that daily caffeine assault starts adding up. What seemed harmless at 40 becomes damaging at 60 and devastating at 70. The biggest mistake I see seniors make is thinking their morning coffee ritual is harmless because it's just one cup. But then they have tea with lunch, maybe a soda in the afternoon, and they don't realize they're consuming caffeine all day long. Each dose creates another wave of pressure and irritation on your prostate. It's like hitting your thumb with a small hammer all day. Individually, each hit might not hurt much, but by evening, your thumb is swollen and throbbing. Here's what you need to do to give your prostate relief. First, limit yourself to 1 cup of coffee before noon. And I mean one normal-sized cup, not those giant mugs that hold 3 cups of coffee. After that first cup, switch to herbal teas like chamomile or peppermint. These actually have anti-inflammatory properties that can help calm your prostate instead of irritating it. And here's a simple test you can do at home to see if caffeine is affecting your prostate. For 1 week, eliminate all caffeine completely. Track how many times you get up at night, how strong your urine flow is, and how completely you feel like you're emptying your bladder. Then, for the next week, go back to your normal caffeine intake and track the same things. I guarantee you'll see a difference that will shock you. While caffeine affects your prostate from the inside, this next habit puts dangerous physical pressure on it. And it's something you're probably doing right now as you watch this video. Habit number 5 is holding your urine for extended periods. And this is where many men unknowingly create a perfect storm of prostate damage. You've done this countless times. You're watching TV, you're in the middle of a project, you're driving somewhere, and you feel that urge to urinate. But instead of going right away, you tell yourself, "I'll just finish this," or "I'll wait until the next rest stop." What you don't realize is that every time you delay that bathroom trip, you're essentially using your prostate as a punching bag. Here's exactly what happens inside your body when you hold it in. Your bladder starts to fill beyond its comfortable capacity, and as it stretches, it pushes down directly on your prostate, which sits right underneath it like a cushion under pressure. Imagine sitting on a balloon for hours. Eventually, that balloon is going to show signs of stress and damage. But the immediate pressure is just the beginning of the problem. When you finally do make it to the bathroom, your bladder has been stretched so much that it can't contract properly anymore. It's like trying to squeeze water out of an overstretched rubber glove. It just doesn't work efficiently. So you end up leaving urine behind in your bladder, creating a warm, stagnant pool that becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and inflammation. This leftover urine is like leaving dirty dishwater sitting in your sink all day. It becomes a perfect environment for infection, and when bacteria starts growing in your bladder, it doesn't stay there. It travels to your prostate, causing swelling, pain, and further enlargement. Over time, this creates a cycle where your prostate gets more inflamed, which makes it harder to empty your bladder completely, which leaves more urine behind, which creates more infection and inflammation. Here's the misconception that's hurting millions of men. You think holding your urine occasionally is no big deal because you've been doing it your whole life without immediate consequences. You might say, I held it for 3 hours yesterday and nothing bad happened. But prostate damage doesn't work like a broken bone where you feel it immediately. It's cumulative damage that builds up over months and years, like rust forming on metal. Each time you hold it, you're adding another layer of damage that you won't feel until it's too late. The truth is, your bladder and prostate are designed to work together in a very specific rhythm. When your bladder signals that it's time to go, that's not a suggestion, it's your body's way of protecting itself. Ignoring those signals is like ignoring your car's oil light. You might get away with it a few times, but eventually, you're going to cause permanent damage. So here's what you need to start doing immediately. First, when you feel the urge to urinate, respond to it within the next few minutes. Don't wait until it becomes urgent or painful. Second, establish regular bathroom breaks even if you don't feel like you need to go. Every 2 to 3 hours, take a bathroom break. This keeps your bladder from overfilling and puts less pressure on your prostate. And here's a technique that can help you empty your bladder more completely. It's called double voiding. After you finish urinating, wait about 30 seconds, then try to urinate again. You'll be surprised how much more comes out. This helps ensure you're not leaving that stagnant urine behind to cause problems. Physical pressure from holding urine is serious, but this next habit creates internal inflammation that's even worse, and it's hiding in your kitchen cabinets right now. Habit number 4 is consuming processed foods daily, and this is probably sitting in your pantry right now. Those convenient frozen dinners, canned soups, lunch meats, crackers, and packaged snacks that make your life easier are actually creating a chemical war zone inside your body, and your prostate is taking the heaviest casualties. Let me tell you what's really in those processed foods that's destroying your prostate health. First, there are preservatives with names you can't even pronounce. Chemicals designed to keep food from rotting on store shelves for months or even years. Your body treats these chemicals like foreign invaders, triggering an inflammatory response throughout your entire system. When your body is constantly fighting inflammation, your prostate becomes swollen and irritated as a side effect of this internal battle. But the preservatives are just the beginning. These processed foods are loaded with trans fats and excessive sodium that throw your hormones completely out of balance. Your prostate depends on a delicate balance of testosterone and other hormones to stay healthy and normal-sized. When you eat processed foods regularly, you're disrupting this balance every single day. Your testosterone levels can drop while inflammatory chemicals increase, creating the perfect environment for prostate enlargement. Here's what most seniors don't realize: that innocent-looking frozen dinner might contain 40 different chemical ingredients, including high-fructose corn syrup, artificial colors, flavor enhancers, and preservatives that your grandfather's generation never encountered. Your body simply wasn't designed to process these laboratory-created chemicals, and your prostate pays the price. The biggest mistake I see my patients make is thinking these foods are harmless because they're convenient, and they've been eating them for years without immediate problems. They tell me, "But doctor, I don't have time to cook fresh meals every day," or "These foods say they're healthy on the package." But here's the reality. Just because something doesn't make you sick immediately doesn't mean it's not causing long-term damage. Prostate inflammation from processed foods builds up slowly over years, like carbon monoxide poisoning. You don't feel it happening until serious damage is already done. The processed food industry spends billions of dollars making their products seem healthy. They put words like natural, low-fat, or heart-healthy on packages filled with inflammatory chemicals. But here's a simple rule that will protect your prostate. If a food has more than 5 ingredients listed on the label, or if you can't pronounce most of those ingredients, your prostate doesn't want it. So what should you eat instead? Focus on foods that don't need ingredient labels: fresh vegetables, fruits, lean fish, and whole grains. These foods actually fight inflammation instead of creating it. Leafy greens like spinach and kale contain compounds that specifically protect prostate tissue. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines provide omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation throughout your body, including your prostate. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start by making 80% of your meals from fresh, whole foods. When you do buy packaged foods, read those labels carefully. Choose items with the fewest ingredients, and avoid anything with preservatives, artificial colors, or trans fats. Your prostate will start responding to these changes within weeks. Many of my patients tell me their nighttime bathroom trips decrease, and their urine flow improves just from cleaning up their diet. It's one of the most powerful tools you have for prostate health, and it's completely under your control. Inflammation from processed foods is dangerous, but this physical habit might be even more damaging to your prostate, and you're probably doing it right now as you watch this. Habit number 3 is carrying excess belly fat, and this might be the most overlooked prostate destroyer of all. You might be thinking, "But doctor, I'm not really that overweight. I've only gained maybe 20 or 30 pounds since my younger days." But here's what you need to understand. It's not about your total weight. It's specifically about that fat around your midsection that's slowly strangling your prostate from the inside out. That belly fat isn't just sitting there doing nothing. It's actually an active chemical factory producing inflammatory substances 24 hours a day. These chemicals, called cytokines, flow through your bloodstream like poison, and they have a particular attraction to your prostate tissue. Think of your belly fat as a toxic waste plant that's constantly dumping pollutants into the river that flows directly to your prostate. But the chemical attack is just one part of the problem. That extra weight around your middle is also putting constant physical pressure on all your pelvic organs, including your prostate. It's like wearing a tight belt around your internal organs all day, every day. This pressure restricts blood flow, which means your prostate isn't getting the oxygen and nutrients it needs to stay healthy, and it can't flush out waste products efficiently. Here's the part that will really shock you. Belly fat is actually converting your testosterone into estrogen. Yes, you heard that right. Estrogen, the female hormone. The fat cells around your waist contain an enzyme called aromatase that literally transforms your masculine hormones into feminine ones. And estrogen is one of the primary drivers of prostate enlargement. So the more belly fat you carry, the more you're feminizing your hormone balance and encouraging your prostate to grow larger. The biggest mistake I see men make is focusing on their overall weight instead of specifically targeting that dangerous abdominal fat. They tell me, "But doctor, I weigh the same as I did in college," not realizing that their weight has shifted from muscle to belly fat over the years. Or they say, "I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm eating less," but they're not specifically targeting the inflammatory belly fat that's attacking their prostate. Here's a simple test you can do right now. Measure your waist circumference with a tape measure, right at your belly button. If it's over 40 inches, your prostate is in serious danger. Don't suck in your gut. Don't measure at your hips where your pants sit. Measure at the widest part of your belly. That number is more important for your prostate health than what the scale says. So how do you specifically target this dangerous belly fat? First, you need to cut sugar and refined carbohydrates from your diet. These foods go straight to belly fat storage and increase inflammation. Second, focus on core strengthening exercises like planks, modified sit-ups, or even just walking with good posture. You don't need to become a bodybuilder, but you need to activate those core muscles to start burning that internal fat. The good news is that belly fat responds faster to lifestyle changes than other types of fat. Many of my patients see their waist size shrink and their prostate symptoms improve within just a few weeks of making these changes. Even losing 2 or 3 inches around your waist can dramatically reduce the chemical assault on your prostate and improve your sleep and urinary flow. Remember, every inch you lose around your waist is like removing a layer of pressure and inflammation from your prostate. Your hormones start rebalancing, the chemical toxins decrease, and your prostate finally gets a chance to heal and return to its normal size. Belly fat creates internal pressure, but this next habit creates external pressure that's equally damaging, and it's something you might be doing for hours every single day. Habit number 2 is prolonged sitting without movement, and I bet you're doing it right now. You might be in your favorite recliner, at your computer, or on your couch, thinking you're being comfortable and taking care of yourself. But what you're actually doing is creating a pressure cooker effect on your prostate that's slowly choking the life out of it. Here's what happens inside your body when you sit for hours at a time. Your entire body weight, plus the weight of your upper body, is pressing down on your pelvic area where your prostate sits. It's like placing a heavy book on a sponge for hours. Eventually, that sponge gets compressed and can't function properly. Your prostate is that sponge, and it's getting squeezed and compressed every minute you remain seated. But the pressure is just the beginning of the damage. When you sit for extended periods, you're also cutting off blood circulation to your entire pelvic region. Your prostate needs fresh, oxygen-rich blood to stay healthy and fight off inflammation. When you're sitting, that blood flow gets restricted, creating a stagnant environment where inflammation can build up and toxins can't be flushed away. It's like blocking the drain in your sink while the water is running. Eventually, everything backs up and becomes a mess. This poor circulation also weakens your pelvic floor muscles. Those are the muscles that help you control your bladder and support your prostate. When these muscles get weak from lack of use, they can't do their job of helping you empty your bladder completely. So you end up with that frustrating feeling of never quite finishing when you urinate, which puts even more stress on your prostate. Here's the misconception that's hurting millions of men. You think that comfortable sitting is good for you, especially as you get older. You might say, "I've worked hard my whole life. I deserve to relax in my chair." And you do deserve comfort, but not at the expense of your prostate health. What feels comfortable in the moment is actually creating long-term damage that will steal your comfort for years to come. The solution is simpler than you think, and you don't need to give up your relaxation time. Every 30 minutes, just stand up and walk for 2 minutes. Set a timer if you need to. Walk to the kitchen, walk around your house, walk to the mailbox. It doesn't matter where you go. Those 2 minutes of movement every half hour will restore blood flow to your prostate and relieve the pressure that's been building up. If you work at a desk or spend time at a computer, consider using a standing desk for part of your day. Even standing for just 15 or 20 minutes at a time can make a huge difference. And throughout the day, do simple pelvic floor exercises. Just tighten the muscles you'd use to stop urinating. Hold for 5 seconds, then release. Do this 10 times, several times a day. The changes you'll feel from this simple habit can be dramatic. Many of my patients tell me their urine flow improves. They sleep better through the night, and they feel less pressure and discomfort in their pelvic area within just a week or 2 of breaking up their sitting time. Now, here's the habit that trumps all others. The one mistake that can undo every other healthy choice you make. And it's the secret destroyer that most doctors never address. Habit number 1 is not managing chronic stress. And this is the most dangerous habit of all because it can completely destroy your prostate even when you're doing everything else perfectly. Let me tell you about Robert, a 68-year-old patient who came to see me completely frustrated. He was eating healthy, exercising regularly, getting his yearly checkups, avoiding all the habits we just talked about, but his prostate kept getting larger and his symptoms kept getting worse. We ran every test I could think of, tried different approaches, but nothing was working. Then, during one of our visits, Robert broke down and told me about the constant worry he was carrying. His retirement savings had taken a hit. He was stressed about his wife's health, worried about being a burden on his children, and couldn't sleep at night because his mind was racing with all these fears. That's when everything clicked for me. Within 3 months of teaching Robert simple stress management techniques, his prostate symptoms improved more than they had in the previous 3 years of medical treatment. His nighttime bathroom trips went from 5 or 6 times a night down to just once or twice. His urine flow improved dramatically, all because we finally addressed the one thing that was undoing every other healthy choice he was making. Here's what stress is actually doing to your prostate, and this will shock you. When you're chronically stressed, worried, or anxious, your body produces a hormone called cortisol. This hormone is supposed to help you handle short-term emergencies, but when it's constantly flowing through your system day after day, it becomes a poison that creates inflammation throughout your entire body, including your prostate. But cortisol is just the beginning. Chronic stress also tightens all the muscles in your pelvic area, including the muscles around your prostate. It's like having a permanent knot in your lower body that never gets a chance to relax. This constant muscle tension restricts blood flow to your prostate, cuts off oxygen supply, and prevents your body from flushing out toxins and inflammatory chemicals. Stress also suppresses your immune system, which means your body can't fight off the infections and inflammation that naturally try to attack your prostate. It's like having security guards that are too tired and distracted to do their job. Your prostate becomes vulnerable to every threat because your body's natural defense system is overwhelmed dealing with your chronic worry and anxiety. Here's the devastating truth that most seniors don't understand. You can eat perfectly, exercise daily, take every supplement, and follow every piece of medical advice. But if you're carrying chronic stress, it will undo all of that good work. Stress is like a master key that unlocks every other health problem and makes them worse. The biggest mistake I see is men accepting stress as just part of life at their age. They tell me, "Well, doctor, at my age, what do I have to be happy about? My health is declining, money is tight, I'm worried about my family." But here's what you need to understand. That stress isn't just affecting your mood. It's directly causing your prostate to enlarge and creating the very health problems you're worried about. So what can you do about this? First, practice deep breathing for just 10 minutes every day. Sit comfortably. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Then breathe out through your mouth for 6 counts. This simple practice tells your body to stop producing stress hormones and starts relaxing those tight pelvic muscles. Second, establish a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Stress and poor sleep feed off each other, creating a vicious cycle that destroys your prostate health. Third, maintain social connections. Call a friend, visit family, join a community group. Isolation makes stress worse, but human connection is like medicine for your mind and your prostate. If you can make just one change from this entire video, make it stress management. Because when you get your stress under control, every other aspect of your health, including your prostate, will start improving automatically. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. You're probably feeling a bit overwhelmed looking at this list of 7 habits, especially if you recognize yourself doing most or all of them. Maybe you're thinking, "Doctor, I'm 65 years old. I've been doing these things my whole life. How am I supposed to change everything now?" And I understand that feeling completely. When you're already dealing with prostate concerns that are affecting your sleep, your comfort, your confidence, and maybe even your relationships, the idea of changing lifelong habits can feel like climbing a mountain when you're already exhausted. But here's what I want you to understand, and this is the most important thing I'll tell you in this entire video. Your prostate has an absolutely amazing ability to heal itself when you remove these harmful habits. I'm not talking about theory here. I'm talking about what I've witnessed with my own eyes in over 20 years of practice. I've seen 80-year-old men who were getting up 6 times a night start sleeping peacefully through the night. I've seen men who couldn't fully empty their bladder regain strong, complete urination. I've seen men who had given up hope start feeling confident and comfortable again, all just by making these changes we've discussed today. Your body wants to heal. Your prostate wants to return to its normal, healthy size. But it can't do that when it's constantly under attack from these 7 habits. The moment you start removing these obstacles, your prostate begins the healing process immediately. It's like removing rocks from a dam. Once you clear the blockage, the natural flow returns. You don't need to change everything at once. In fact, trying to do too much too fast is usually a recipe for giving up entirely. Instead, pick one habit, and I suggest starting with stress management because it amplifies everything else. Just 10 minutes of deep breathing every day can begin healing your prostate immediately. That's it. 10 minutes. You probably spend more time than that looking for the TV remote. And here's what I want you to remember. Your age doesn't disqualify you from healing. I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80, or even 90 years old. I've seen men at every age make these changes and get their lives back. With the right approach, your prostate can become healthier and more comfortable than it's been in years. Age gives you wisdom and experience. Use that to your advantage. You know what works and what doesn't. You know how to stick with something when it matters. And this matters more than almost anything else you can do for your health and quality of life. So let me quickly recap what we've covered today, because these 7 habits are literally the difference between years of suffering and years of comfort. Remember, chronic stress is your prostate's biggest enemy. It undoes everything else you do right. Then comes prolonged sitting without movement, carrying excess belly fat, holding your urine for extended periods, consuming processed foods daily, drinking excessive caffeine, and skipping regular health screenings. These 7 habits are silently enlarging your prostate right now, but now you have the power to stop them. Which of these habits surprised you the most? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know which one you're going to tackle first, or if you've already noticed some of these patterns in your own life. Your experience might help another man who's going through the same struggles. And if this information helped you understand your prostate health better, please subscribe to Elderly Healthcare. I create evidence-based health insights designed specifically for seniors like you, because your health concerns are unique and deserve specialized attention. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Take care of your prostate, and it will take care of you. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay hopeful, and remember, it's never too late to start healing.